What's going on YouTube? It's Private KJ Shot Callers Podcast back here with another NBA video. Today we're going to be discussing the Andre Drummond going to the Lakers signing. If you're not aware, he was bought out by the Cleveland Cavaliers before the trade deadline because it seemed like there was not enough trade suitors or offers that they did not like. So like I said, they bought him out and he's planning on signing with the Lakers within the hour, I'm going to assume. And it's been pretty clear that he will, if not already has signed with them. So we're just going to talk about that, what to expect from Drummond, and what kind of role he should be playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis out, and what to expect from him once they get back. So if you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a beat. It's your first time being on the channel. Hi, my name's Kyler, Private KJ. We upload daily NBA videos twice a day. In the morning/afternoon, we upload a video on players, teams, and news, talking about anything involving the NBA, and at night we recap all the games that I ended up watching. Today we have 4 games. The Hornets and the Spurs already played today, and so I'll be recapping that definitely. And we have 3 more games to go later tonight, so stay tuned for that. If you're not aware, tomorrow morning, I leave for boot camp for my military. Thank you guys so much. I finally did get to 100 subs, and I know 100 subs really isn't a lot, but I'm very appreciative of that. And like I said, 14 weeks is a long time, and so I'm just praying that for the people who subbed and are here to stay, you guys stay permanently, because as soon as I get back, it's really going to be grind season. Should be no more 14-week long-term breaks like that, and you guys will really be able to see what the content I can put out with and stuff like that. So like I said, let's just kick right into the video. Oh, and actually, one more announcement. I'm sorry about that. I will be dropping a video tomorrow morning saying basically goodbye for 14 weeks. And what to expect and how I'm excited for boot camp, but we'll get to that when the time comes. So with that said, let's just get right into the video. So Andre Drummond to the Lakers. So what I expect him to play is the same kind of role that JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard played last year. The kind of athletic big man, can't really space the floor, sit in the dunker spot, catch alley-oops, rebound, go after it on defense, play the pick and roll play the pick and roll on defense well, and just be an athletic paint presence, something that Marc Gasol wasn't able to provide, and something that Montrezl Harrell, although he is athletic, his size cannot really make up for. So with that said, what I am worried about is the ego of Andre Drummond, because if you don't know him as the player, we've never really seen him on a winning team or even a competent team. In the Pistons days, I think he made the playoffs just one time, and he wasn't very good. For the Cavs, it's Cleveland. If you either have LeBron and you're relevant, and as soon as they lose LeBron, the worst organization in the league. And that's a little bit of a concern, because if you don't watch Drummond and just kind of look at the stats and be like, why do people think he's so bad? Well, let me kind of give you some details. So Andre Drummond is an elite rebounder. I'll go for the positive. So like I said, he's an elite rebounder who can finish at the basket. Surprisingly, his ball handling has actually improved this season, but nothing to be special about. It's really still not. You don't want him handling the ball whatsoever. He's this kind of athletic, really, really good at offensive rebounding, big man who can give you multiple possessions, great lob target, great screener, great in the pick and roll, and can do everything involving in the paint on the offensive end. Can't really space the floor, though. Doesn't have 3-point shots or mid-range shot for that matter. The free throw, has improved, but albeit it still can affect teams at times. And then defensively, when he's locked in, I'll say he's an above-average defender. Wouldn't put him in the elite, but above average, I'd say. But when he's not locked in, he's kind of a black hole. And so, with that said, the reason why I brought up ego is because I talk about when he's locked in. If you don't watch many Cavs games, and if you didn't watch any of the Pistons back when he was on there, Andre Drummond has this tendency to where, if he doesn't get his touches, he's not going to want to, give it his all. And that is an extreme issue with Drummond. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with the Lakers, because there's championship expectations. It's a different type of locker room, different type of culture and standards set in place. So I think that's really beneficial for Andre Drummond. But when you watch him, There'll be so many times where I'll see him. It's just like if Andre Drummond does not get the ball, he won't set screens hard enough. He won't play the best defense that he's capable of playing. He won't give it his all on the defensive and offensive end. He'll stop rebounding. And although he is an elite rebounder, if you dive into the team stats, his rebounding doesn't attribute to the overall team rebounding. And I got this fact from Funky Diabetic. If you don't know, go check out his channel. He gives really good NBA takes. Really funny guy too. He talked about how he compared Aaron Baines to Drummond because it was a few years ago back with the Celtics, I believe, where Aaron Baines, he would average like 4 to 5 rebounds a game. But when he was on the floor, the Celtics were like a top 5 offensive or overall rebounding team. Whereas as of Drummond, we see him average these 12 to 15 absurd amount of rebounding stats, but yet it does not atone to overall team rebounding, if that makes sense. I know I stuttered there a few times, but I was trying to make that as clear as possible. And so the reason why I don't believe Drummond found any trade targets is because in today's NBA, what team needs a player like Andre Drummond? Because if he's not going to give it his all unless he wants to be the focal point of an offense, which has clearly shown that it just doesn't lead to any success in the wins column, what can we really expect from Drummond? And like I said, going to the Lakers, a different set of standards set in place, different culture is really going to help him. I think he needs that at this point in his career. But we all saw what the Pistons gave up for him. I mean, what was it? John Henson in the second-round pick? Like, that's pathetic based off if you just look at the box score and see he averages, 15 and 14 rebounds? Like, that's crazy. And so that's where I'm saying this is a time in his career where he needs to kind of lock in and needs to be shown what it takes to be a championship contender. Because if he buys into what the Lakers I'm assuming, are going to do with him, which is basically, like I said, the Dwight Howard / JaVale McGee kind of thing they did with them last year, I have no doubt that Drummond will be just fine. Now, if Drummond doesn't buy in, we have a different story, okay? We'll see a guy who will want to catch it on the elbow, try and do these random moves, and it won't go anywhere, these inefficient kind of scoring moves. We'll see some random post-up from Drummond, which won't be effective. We'll see these, I'm not going to set you my best screen because I just want you to give me the ball. So let me set you kind of soft screen, roll to the basket too early, and hopefully you throw me those kind of things. If he does that, then I'm very concerned about this because I don't want anybody to just think magically that Andre Drummond is the third best. Like you want him as your third best player on a championship team. That's just not true. I would honestly debate that Montrezl Harrell. I'd rather have Montrezl Harrell at times than Andre Drummond, to be completely honest. Now, if you actually are not aware, Gorgie Jang is also in the free agent market, looking to sign with another team. And I've heard a lot of people say that Gorgie Jang, honestly, is probably better than Drummond. Now, I do understand that Drummond his stats don't really show how bad he kind of is. Except he's not a bad player though. My point I'm trying to make is that I don't believe that Drummond is worse than Gorgie Jang. I do understand that Gorgie has been hitting threes this year, which could be very beneficial. And I do understand that Gorgie will accept wherever role is given, whether it's playing 0 minutes, or that's playing 20 minutes, or that's shooting 5 shots, or that's shooting 0 shots. I understand that. But at the end of the day, I think Drummond is a higher upside signing than Gorgie Jang. I think they're going to need that, especially if they play the Brooklyn Nets in the finals. And I just don't believe that Gorgie Jang is a better basketball player than Andre Drummond. So I just kind of wanted to point that out because I know that's been getting some sort of talk as well. And so with that said, my number one main concern is just because LeBron and Anthony Davis are out, I'm afraid that they're going to kind of rely on Andre Drummond to provide some sort of offense because we all see how much the Lakers have been struggling without those two. And as expected, I mean, when you're missing 2 top 6 players in the NBA, it's pretty difficult to just kind of make that up. And so with Andre Drummond there, I'm afraid he's going to try and revert back to basically what he did with the Cavs and just let me see what I can do. Let me play some hero ball here and there. And that's just not what he needs at all and what the Lakers need at all. Now, like I said, I'm going to repeat this for the third time. The culture set in place with the Lakers, having to play with LeBron, Anthony Davis, that will go a long way with Drummond. And I'm hoping that kind of changes his trajectory as a player and his mindset, because that is the main thing for Drummond. Now, what to expect from the Lakers as a team with Drummond. So a healthy Lakers team with Drummond, I honestly expect literally a great, probably the best rebounding team in the league. I mean, think about it. You have LeBron and Anthony Davis with Drummond. There's no way in hell anyone is out rebounding that team. If they do, something is not going right there. Something is wrong. There's no way I can picture a team out rebounding that team. I think the offensive rebounding talent will be ridiculous. Now, if you ask me if I would expect any Harrell or Drummond lineups, I would say no. But with LeBron and Anthony Davis out, I actually could expect that for the time being. If you ask me in the playoffs what to expect from Drummond, I actually expect them to run Drummond at the 5, just because Anthony Davis, of course, we all know doesn't like playing the 5. But when it comes to it, I expect Anthony Davis to run the 5 and Drummond to get 20 to 25 minutes. And for a consistent basis, I don't expect Drummond to get consistent minutes. I think there'll be times where he'll play 30 minutes. I think there'll be times where he plays only 15 to 20 minutes. And like I said, he just needs to accept that, and he'll fit in right. He'll just fit in perfectly as long as he's willing to accept whatever role that the Lakers give him. I am a little bit concerned with the spacing, but after what we saw last year, I'm really not too concerned anymore. I'm just worried that I'm not sure what to expect once Anthony Davis and LeBron come back from injury. So yeah, that was kind of like a mini discussion on Andre Drummond. Good signing by the Lakers overall, a really high upside signing as well. But like I said, I am a little concerned of the ego of Andre Drummond and kind of if he's willing to accept whatever role they give him. And so with that said, that will conclude today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that said, Private KJ out.